is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be having a little looky-look update, as it were, to the goings-on in the world of Hassan, the apex predator of Twitch streaming piker. He's number one, guys, and he's really charismatic. And I like losing subs doing videos on him, it tickles me to no end. We're going to skip back slightly by about a week, because I want to catch up with the more recent confusion that he has. But we'll start with the following.
Something here that was sent to me from an excerpt from the interview that you guys conducted, where you asked him if he prefers, you know, Burger King or McDonald's or whatever.
I guess when you stream 8 to 10 hours a day for 5 to 6 times a week, it's possible you're not always going to remember half the dumb crap that comes out of your mouth. In the case of Hassan, trivial conversation stuff that can in fact be used by Ethan Klein to mock, which he will have undoubtedly seen, Hassan that is, and be very salty about in the near future.
Is there a KFC there? They're everywhere? I don't think there's a KFC in Yemen, dog.
He says they have two.
Oh, they do have KFC in Yemen? That's crazy. Okay, that's sick.
Is there a KFC in Yemen? No way, dude! Holy fuck! There's a KFC in Yemen!
No lie, I got curious and looked up how many in Asia KFCs there were. Yemen only has the one in the capital city, but there are many throughout the Middle East, in fact. I knew about Kuwait because of Chantal, aka Foodie Beauty. There is a knockoff version in Syria called KFG, which could stand for many different things. Gunt, gonads, gonorrhea. It's impressive that something that you could quickly Google, which is, as Hassan said, is, let's face it, crazy, guys, could be in fact answered within a few seconds. Which does make it seem like you're looking down at, well, these countries and their fast food at the same time. It's a bit peculiar, really, isn't it? Now, the second clip I want to show you, in keeping with the timeline of things I've been holding on to, concerns his belief that you can't have a perspective on what he has to say unless you can bench a certain amount. Now, I've used this clip before, but it seems right to feature it here as well, because he has a weight barrier, and he thinks this is where you should all be.
They love foreign policing.
You should be required to submit a video of you doing the same weight to be able to foreign police somebody else.
Okay.
I feel like the internet would be a better place if you did that.
Just before Hassan gives the cold hard number he thinks you should be able to bench for 6 to 7 reps, it's 102 kg. That is a lot for a lot of people. I don't believe, because it's a way of gatekeeping where opinions are allowed to reside, that you should have to fulfill a obligation to then be able to speak on something. Everyone should be allowed to speak no matter what. By simply screening people, you are trying to limit freedom to express and speak, which is very typical for the brochure list.
I think you should be required to do that just to speak online. And if you can't clear 225 at least for like a decent 6 or 7, you should not be allowed to have any opinions on whatever I have to say.
I will say this. So I can move that weight.
While I know he's joking, it's obvious, because 225 is a fair amount of weight to chuck. Okay, it's redundant, but there are going to be people who take that far too seriously and run with it as if it should in fact be the benchmark for when people are allowed to speak. Now, Hassan, like many, like to compare themselves to other politicians, people they aspire to be like or believe are like them. So who do you think Hassan believes he's like? You're right, Zoran Mamani, who serves as the current member for New York State Assembly from the 36th District based in Queens. He is the current Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City in the 2025 election.
This person in that same clip turned around and was like, we need more Zoran Mamdanis because he's killing it, and then said, unfortunately, the only left representatives are Destiny and Hassan.
Mercifully, for those who lean more towards the left, there are many people who are on that side of an argument, debate, politics. They exist. They just don't get as much airtime as Hassan, as Destiny within the internet space anyway, because they're not batshit insane. Unlike Hassan, unlike Destiny, the Debate Me Bro, Brochure List, and Destiny. Because insanity, because controversy, generates more interest than those who simply crack on with their duty, the other, more known left-leaning political commentators go under the radar by comparison. And considering what the current Democratic nominee for New York believes in, I'm not entirely sure if the world needs more. It's certainly up for debate.
And they both suck. They're uncharismatic, and they suck. They're horrible. They're horrible representatives of the left. And it's so funny because, like, dog.
Just before you finish that thought, I wanted to interrupt with a very important comment. So, moving on.
You said we want more Zoran Mamdanis, and then you said I suck. What do you mean? That's my guy. Like, how do you arrive at that? How do you arrive at the position that, like, Zoran Mamdani is great, but also I'm bad?
Well, it could be an East Coast, West Coast mentality. It could be because, as far as the left goes, you are a poor representation of it. Mamdani might be a safer option, comparatively. It could be because, on a political stage, you have openly promoted terrorism. He hasn't as much. I'm going to go ahead and surmise that you think because you both have a beard that you're the same person. One of you wears hair plugs. The other is running for mayor of New York. One of you sits bored on the internet for most of a day and gets annoyed at his detractors. The other is again running for mayor of New York. That's not to say, by the way, I think that guy running for mayor of New York is a good option. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm English, why would I give a damn about the mayor of New York City? Seriously. I am, however, intrigued by somebody who lives in California, makes a boatload of money, enjoys a really good life, wants to compare himself to somebody on the East Coast. Now, the final clip to show the out-of-touch nature of Hassan is criticism he has received because he doesn't quite understand why a certain demographic doesn't like him. Now, in the past, I've criticized his mentality when it came to not getting him because his mentality is, screw you, educate yourself. Basically that. But now he's starting to realize more of this particular grouping are leaning towards other people. Why is that? Not what can I do to be better, because that means change and less poison. He lives in the poison these days. He's immune to it.
Yes.
And would be just as authoritarian, if not more so, than the Orange Man. She also thinks Asmongold is better than Hassan as a content creator for young men. Not really important.
The reason why that exists, those comments exist, is because young men are getting more and more turned off by the attitudes and the poison spouted by many of these online political commentators. Those who cannot say, frankly, without simply attacking or tearing down others. You, Hassan, have a reputation for solely tearing people down. No elevating anyone, just tearing everyone down to the lowest level while you sit back and live the best life. Young people are looking at you and going, he lives in a very expensive place in the world, so place being home and then place being location. He has a lot of money, he has all this success, and he tries to espouse socialist ideals, none of which would ever work. We know socialism doesn't work, and if anyone in my comments is a socialist, prove it. Prove it works, because it's yet to.
Crash out in 3,
To my post, but shows the terminal
2,
nature of the Hassan derangement syndrome.
1.
Like, this is something that I have noticed as well. A lot of these, like, supposedly liberal content creators are shepherding their audience to find right-wing content creators like Asmongold to be more permissible and better overall than someone like myself, because they...
I like that you're now going to try mental gymnastics as a way to try and diffuse rather than accept your poisonous rhetoric, your aggressive attitude, your defending of terrorism, your anti-Semitic behavior is abhorrent to people who bother to look at you and go, no. As you, Hassan, are getting older, more and more younger people are going to look at you and go, no, he's the previous generation. We don't care what he thinks anymore. You need to try and find a way to work with them, to get them on your side. But you're not interested in that. You're only interested in being a dick. But not even the fun kind where you tell a joke. No, you're only interested in being a dick that hurts somebody, poisons the well for everyone else, takes the ladder up from underneath you so no one can get to where you are, because you are genuinely a massive narcissist. if you were able to introspect for a second, you'd have more of a chance of being able to change with the times. But you don't know how to think like that, unless your chat tells you.
Have you ever thought about the possibility that just maybe that's your fault? Maybe. Oh my God. There might be just is there any level of accountability for why would this happen?
In this, Zzzzombrocoli is correct. If you are unable to tap into that audience, if you are unable to educate them on your beliefs and your values, then it is most certainly a you problem. It could be the boring delivery. It could be the fact you are an absolute hypocrite and they've seen through your horse crap. It could be because you attack other creators and they've then gone and looked. They've evaluated it for themselves and gone, no, this, you're talking out of your arse here, Hassan. If it weren't for the fact I believe you're so truly set in your ways you'll never bother to change, I would like to believe it was possible to do so. Everyone has that potential, except for you and a few other extreme left and extreme right types. You're so set in your ways you cannot change, especially for as long as you are enabled by Dan sucks on Hassan, chokes on Hassan, gets pegged by Hassan, Clancy.
Designed their entire worldview around like saying fuck Hassan, and Hassan is so scary, and that's the reason why you see so many of these like accounts that go along with these fucking insane narratives. That's literally...
It's not an insane narrative. You said it on the podcast. You were talking about the re-education camps in a communist society. You were with Ethan. You were sitting on the left and he was on the right.
Oh, you need to be a little bit careful here, Mr. Zzzzombrocoli. You see, providing context and evidence for someone who has such insane tunnel vision will never yield a positive outcome, because he'll just see that comment and go, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Even if everyone posts the clip or shows him the clip, he'll ignore it and say, well, that's taken out of context. Right. Any excuse to refrain from taking accountability or learning from one's errors. Now, as we've reached the end of this topic, I do want to know what you all think. Please do let me know in the comments down below. I shall be streaming on Twitch tonight and Kick. I'm also on Rumble. Okay, we're busy. We got stuff going on. Hope to see you there. If not, have a wonderful day, everyone. And I'll be back here tomorrow night for a live stream. And thank you all so much for listening.
I guess just like always. And no, we saw this. You said it. And you could just say, if you don't think this, then just say, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, it's a bit too much. Why not? The problem Hassan has is he never walks back anything crazy that he says. I've walked back at least 3 crazy things that I've said. That's 3 more than Hassan.
I mean, that's just...